Hello students, I am Ekta. Previously, you have learned about Introduction to Probability. Today, in this part, we are going to see the type of probability approaches. Imagine you are planning a picnic with friends and there's a chance of rain. By understanding different types of probability, you can assess the likelihood of rain and make appropriate preparations. Today, we will explore two fundamental probability approaches, classical probability and empirical probability. So, let's dive into the fascinating world of probability and equip ourselves with the tools to make better decisions in our daily lives. Learning outcomes. After the completion of this lesson, you will be able to define and describe the probability approaches. Differentiate the classical and empirical probability. Apply empirical approach to solve problems. Keywords: classical probability, empirical probability, theoretical approach, experimental approach, sample space, event probability, outcomes, trials. Now, let us learn the types of probability. Types of probability approaches are classical probability, empirical probability. Classical probability. Classical probability, also known as the theoretical approach, assumes that all outcomes in a sample space are equally likely. The classical probability of an event A is calculated as P of A is equal to number of favorable outcomes for event A upon total number of possible outcomes. Now, we will see the example related to classical probability. For example, when flipping a fair coin, there are two equally likely outcomes, heads and tails. The probability of getting heads is 1 out of 2. So, the classical probability of getting heads is 1 by 2 or 0.5 or 50%. Now, let us learn about empirical probability in detail. In this session, we will focusing more on empirical probability only. Empirical experimental probability. Empirical probability, also known as the experimental approach, is based on actual experiments or data collected from experiments or real-world events or past data. The empirical probability formula is P of E is equal to number of times an event occurs by total number of trials. Now, we will see the examples related to empirical probability. Example 1. A coin is tossed 1000 times with the following frequencies: head 425, tail 575. Compute the probability for each event. Solution. Given total number of times coin tossed is equal to 1000. Total number of times heads turned up is equal to 425. Total number of times tails turned up is equal to 575. Let P of E is equal to probability of getting heads. P of E is equal to number of times heads turned up divided by total number of trials. P of E is equal to 425 divided by 1000 is equal to 0.425. P of F is equal to probability of getting tails. P of F is equal to number of times tails turned up divided by total number of trials. P of F is equal to 575 divided by 1000 is equal to 0.575. The sum of the probabilities of all the elementary events of an experiment is 1, that is P of E plus P of F is equal to 0.425 plus 0.575 is equal to 1. Now we will try another example. Example 2. Two coins are tossed simultaneously 500 times. We get 2 heads 100, 1 head 270, no head 130. Find the probability of occurrence of each of these events. Solution. Given total number of times coin tossed is equal to 500, total number of times 2 heads turned up is equal to 100, total number of times 1 head turned up is equal to 270, total number of times no heads turned up is equal to 130. When 2 coins are tossed, then the sample space would be is equal to head head, head tail, tail head, tail tail. Note, H is equal to heads and T is equal to tails. P of E1 is equal to getting 2 heads. P of E1 is equal to number of times 2 heads appeared by total number of trials. P of E1 is equal to 100 divided by 500 is equal to 1 by 5 is equal to 0.2. P of E2 is equal to getting 1 head, that is 1 head and 1 tail. P of E2 is equal to number of times 1 head appeared by total number of trials. P of E2 is equal to 270 divided by 500 is equal to 0.54. P of E3 is equal to getting no head, that is 2 tails. P of E3 is equal to number of times no head appeared by total number of trials. P of E3 is equal to 130 divided by 500 is equal to 0.26. The sum of the probabilities of all the elementary events of an experiment is 1, that is P of E1 plus P of E2 plus P of E3 is equal to 0.2 plus 0.54 plus 0.26 is equal to 1. Now we will try another example. Example 3. A spinner was spun 500 times and the frequency of result was recorded as shown in the table below. Outcomes: frequency green 102, yellow 103, blue 105, orange 98, red 92. Compute the probability of each color. Solution. Given total number of spins is equal to 500, let P of E1 is equal to getting green color, P of E2 is equal to getting yellow color, P of E3 is equal to getting blue color, P of E4 is equal to getting orange color, P of E5 is equal to getting red color. P of E1 is equal to number of times green recorded by total number of spins is equal to 102 divided by 500 is equal to 0.204. P of E2 is equal to number of times yellow recorded by total number of spins is equal to 103 divided by 500 is equal to 0.206. P of E3 is equal to number of times blue recorded by total number of spins is equal to 105 divided by 500 is equal to 0.210. P of E4 is equal to number of times orange recorded by total number of spins is equal to 98 divided by 500 is equal to 0.196. P of E5 is equal to number of times read recorded by total number of spins is equal to 92 divided by 500 is equal to 0.184. The sum of the probabilities of all the elementary events of an experiment is 1. That is P of E1 plus P of E2 plus P of E3 plus P of E4 plus P of E5 is equal to 0.204 plus 0.206 plus 0.210 plus 0.196 plus 0.184 is equal to 1. Students, let us summarize what we have learned. Summary of the lesson. Types of probability approaches: classical probability, empirical probability. Classical probability, also known as the theoretical approach, assumes that all outcomes in a sample space are equally likely. The classical probability of an event E is calculated as P of E is equal to number of favorable outcomes for event A by total number of possible outcomes. Empirical probability, also known as the experimental approach, is based on actual experiments or data collected from experiments or real-world events or past data. The empirical probability formula is P of E is equal to number of times an event occurs by total number of trials. Thanks for watching this video.